a big part of what you're supposed to be doing is experimenting and pushing the boundaries, because you're creating for creating's sake. So I was like, oh my gosh, I can explore my creative voice and play and experiment in a way I haven't been able to in a really long time. But I definitely wasn't expecting to find it so difficult to relax, I guess, and to turn off a very specific type of success, which is my own expectation of perfection from myself. Oh, what does that look like? I found myself constantly being so self-critical when things didn't work out the way I had hoped or had planned for, or I was gonna experiment this one time and create something perfect, and that would be like check off the list of this period of experimentation onto the next, and we'd just be moving speedily on towards becoming a textile master. Unfortunately, things rarely work out in such a perfect way. The rain falls down and wash away all the dust that's in every fiber of my being.
Turns out recreational creation isn't really like riding a bike.
I'm so critical of the things that I make that I was starting to kind of imagine what I perceived to be a failure coming back at me through the voice of family members or members of the artistic community, and being like, what am I even doing? Does this even have any value? Am I just sitting in a room playing with wool? So I just really came to the edge of myself and realized, okay, for me, play, experimentation does not come easily. I even realized that I don't put myself in positions where failure is a strong possibility. Not only in a public sphere, but even privately. Like, how sad to not push yourself into uncomfortable positions because of such a fear of failure. I could have basically been like, okay, I'm giving myself the theme of fruit. But instead, I was just like, why don't I give myself the theme of my cultural and individual identity, and wrestling with this, being away from Malta for so long and having a lot of my artistic formation outside of Malta in terms of finding I would say my creative voice, and now coming back, being with my family and my friends who had such a big impact on my development as a person, not just my development as a creative, and having this almost period of who am I as a person? What are the symbols? If we're talking about the iconography of Kristina, the same way we talk about, I don't know, the iconography of St. Paul, the shipwreck and the snake. So it's okay, what is my snake? What is my shipwreck? Hopefully not an actual physical shipwreck. This period that I've spent working on this research project has not been one of simply sunshine and rainbows. Instead, it's been a really difficult period, both in terms of health individually, but also on a family level. Really having to come to terms with the fact that naturally I don't create in those seasons. All of a sudden flipped a switch and I was afraid to make anything. And I had this moment of, why am I like this? I was in this period of doubting my worth as a maker and the merit of every single thing I produce. I wasn't just looking at what I create, which is what I was supposed to be doing, but I had this awareness, a new awareness of how I create. A real defining factor was I realized I stopped being able to count. In general, when you stop being able to count past 6, you start to think, maybe there's a problem. My whole life, it felt like I've certain ways I had acted, or certain ways I had withdrawn from situations, or strange ways that I had reacted. I had this moment where I was like, something is going on and has been going on my whole life.